I don't know about you, but when I have a problem, when I call up an IT and say I'm having a problem, what do you think is the first thing that they're going to tell you to do?
A reboot?
Yeah, reboot the router, or move closer to the Wi-Fi, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a user has a problem accessing an application. But when you think about that complexity of the digital supply chain between the user on their device and the application, there are so many things that have to work in concert together. With ThousandEyes, you have the ability to kind of easily see that complete end-to-end digital experience down to the individual user. The digital experience matters, but most really matters is, can I be able to detect when a problem occurs? Can I be able to diagnose where that issue happens across any network, even the ones that I don't own and operate, like the internet? Can I be able to then understand and begin to troubleshoot that experience? I can see here that actually he has a 50% signal quality. That's not very good. But if I look beyond that at the gateway, I actually see that I'm getting zero loss and zero latency. And if I look all the way at the application, in this case at GitHub, I can see that I'm actually experiencing 70% loss at the application. So there's something happening between the gateway and the application that's causing that degradation. It might be an application issue, but I can tell you one thing that's not going to help. Move it closer to your router is not going to help there.
Hey everyone, David Bombal coming to you from Cisco Live again. Really happy to have Joe back from ThousandEyes. Joe, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
So last time you did a fantastic demo of ThousandEyes. I believe things have changed again, right? New announcements, new interesting things that you can show us?
Yeah, some great things. First off, when we last talked at Cisco Live in Amsterdam, we were talking about some of the new integrations, both in terms of with WAN Insights, ability to create a level of kind of forecasted recommendations for how to be able to improve your SD-WAN traffic by looking at a per site and application traffic, and then using those recommendations to then augment your policy into vManage to be able to improve that digital experience. But then also within App Dynamics and the new kind of bi-directional integrations within the full stack observability, to be able to not only take ThousandEyes data from within our platform and then be able to then easily through OpenTelemetry send that into any OTel compliant system such as App Dynamics, but then also to be able to pull down from App Dynamics into ThousandEyes the service dependency graphs that can help you to be able to ensure you're targeting the right level of tests inside of your ThousandEyes environment based upon the applications. As we fast forward to now Cisco Live, things just continue to evolve and continue to move forward, and a lot of new things on the horizon. One of the things that's not new, but I think is still an ever major problem for our customers is with hybrid work.
Yeah.
And if you think about kind of where work happens today, it can happen everywhere. It can happen right here at Cisco Live. It can happen in my home. It can happen in a coffee shop. It can also happen into a meeting experience. And so from that, one of the new things that we're announcing here at Cisco Live is the ability to take our endpoint agent. That's the vantage point that can run on my laptop. It can run on Windows and Mac operating systems, and actually now to extend that to be embedded into the set of WebEx devices.
I was going to say, actually, you got a nice prop, yeah?
Yeah, brought here. This is a WebEx device, WebEx Mini, which is a great, handheld, easily portable environment that brings the full power of what WebEx devices can bring to you. That's managed through WebEx Control Hub. And so what we've done is actually take our endpoint agent, embed it into the Room OS operating system, and then make that now something that can be easily distributed through WebEx Control Hub down to any device that supports Room OS. So that's your Desk Minis, that's your Desk Pros, that's your Room Kits. And so if customers have a WebEx room bar inside of their offices that are helping to provide that great digital experience over a variety of different collaboration platforms, now they have the ability to then measure and be able to monitor that digital experience from there. When I look at what else we're doing, it's also just doesn't stop. One of the other main things that we're really excited about to talk about this week is how we're actually extending our ThousandEyes vantage points into the Meraki ecosystem.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So ThousandEyes has been inside of the Cisco family for almost 3 years now. And ever since day one, we've been looking at the different ways that we can be able to become ubiquitous across our customers' environments. That includes,
BGP, is that right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have ThousandEyes BGP or ThousandEyes chat? Or sorry, for everyone watching, I got to mention the shirt. I mean, last time you had a great shirt. Sorry to interrupt your flow.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. I think ThousandEyes has been confused with being a t-shirt company, not a technology company, but we do a pretty good job at both. And so we got a great marketing team that puts out a lot of fun t-shirts. And I know for a lot of your audience here that can really speak BGP and maybe experimenting with the new GPT functionality from OpenAI. At the end of the day, I guess BGP you can think of like this crazy science of a protocol that powers the underlying internet. And so as we talk about, the internet and kind of where digital experiences happen, we also think about all the range of different devices that are not yet covered by ThousandEyes. And so one of the things that we're excited to talk about this week is the ability to bring our ThousandEyes vantage points into the Meraki setup platform and to be able to run our enterprise agents natively on the Meraki MX series devices. And that's really important because these devices are deployed across millions of different places around the world. And in every single one of those places, digital experience matters to that customer. Now, the digital experience matters, but most really matters is, can I be able to detect when a problem occurs? Can I be able to diagnose where that issue happens across any network, even the ones that I don't own and operate like the internet? Can I be able to then understand and begin to troubleshoot that experience? And so we're excited about that as well. If we kind of dive into a couple of these demos, if we want to do that now, or
we're great to do demos. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, people love your demos, so definitely.
Yeah, great. So what we're kind of seeing here, this is our ThousandEyes endpoint agent, and we didn't get a chance to look at this. So when we think about that hybrid work and actually putting the endpoint agent on these various different devices, at the end of the day, you need to use it to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but when I have a problem, when I call up an IT and say I'm having a problem, what do you think is the first thing that they're going to tell you to do?
A reboot?
Yeah, reboot the router, or move closer to the Wi-Fi, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a user has a problem accessing an application, but when you think about that complexity of the digital supply chain between the user on their device and the application, there are so many things that have to work in concert together. With ThousandEyes, you have the ability to kind of easily see that complete end-to-end digital experience down to the individual user.
I mean, last time we spoke, it was fantastic for me to see this because I didn't know the details, and the way you explained it previously was fantastic. How you have all this visibility.
Yeah.
So for everyone watching, again, I've linked that video below if you want to see the previous interview. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this. So this is actually a real problem that one of our engineers was having. This was an engineer that was based out of Europe that was trying to access GitHub.
Okay.
And you can imagine for him, right? He raises the ticket and they say, hey, reboot your router, reboot your laptop and see. But with ThousandEyes, our IT team was able to kind of quickly look at them and say, you know what, I can be able to see that Ronaldo's having a poor experience relative to his peers. If I come into his environment, I can see very quickly the segment visualization that's broken down into his device and what's happening at his individual device perspective. What is his Wi-Fi connectivity? I can see here that actually he has a 50% signal quality. That's not very good. But if I look beyond that at the gateway, I actually see that I'm getting zero loss and zero latency. And if I look all the way at the application, in this case at GitHub, I can see that I'm actually experiencing 70% loss at the application. So there's something happening between the gateway and the application that's causing that degradation. It might be an application issue, but I can tell you one thing that's not going to help. Moving closer to your router is not going to help there. If I come into that environment and look actually specifically at that network and, going back into that experience.
I love this, yeah.
That path visualization is such a powerful way for teams to be able to solve real problems.
Yeah.
So what I can see here is there's Ronaldo's his laptop. You can see he's located in Rome. I wish I could work from Rome. Second, I can see his wireless network. I can see the local gateway. But what you can see here is as I look into the right into GitHub, I can see this is the destination he was trying to access. But what you can see is that there's a tremendous amount of red nodes that's happening upstream in that provider on his way to GitHub. And as I click down, I can see very clearly that there's within these red nodes that he's having an outage on his path to GitHub. Telling him to reboot his machine wasn't going to solve a problem. Yep. Telling him to move to his router wasn't going to solve a problem. Now, if the IT team had the ability to then route that user's traffic through a VPN, you could actually write around this problem very easily. Or if not, you can tell very clearly to Ronaldo, says, hey, Ronaldo, you're having a problem across the internet. this is an internet problem. And so that notion of like mean time to innocence helps you to be able to then, from an operations, be able to move on to that proactive type of a posture. One other item that I wanted to kind of go back to, and maybe just doing a little bit of also that recap, at Cisco Live in Amsterdam, we talked about that bi-directional integration.
Yeah.
This is actually a view of a ThousandEyes dashboard that's ingesting the application health from AppDynamics and showing you real-time health of all the underlying services from AppDynamics that is shown within that ThousandEyes view. And that's really important because from that network operations team, he needs to know that what is the health of that application, so then to identify when I need to go and look at that network from a deeper perspective.
So this allows you to say it's not the network, it's an app problem, right?
Yeah, you can say that, hey, the network is clean, but I can see here that the application is experiencing a degraded state. And so let's go ahead and focus our attention inside of that application infrastructure to where I might be able to need that.
So dumb question. That could be like, it could be running on Docker, it could be running in a VM. That allows me to kind of see that kind of stuff. Is that right? Or at least isolate it to there?
So in this situation, actually what we're doing is we're leveraging the APIs directly from AppDynamics to pull the application health through the lens of AppDynamics. And that's really powerful in leveraging the strength of AppDynamics together with ThousandEyes. And that's really kind of what brings that full stack observability vision. Now, as we kind of like round out here at Cisco Live, we talked about the ability to run on these sets of devices. And when I look in here, actually from this agent settings page, what's great is that all that power that I showed you today of how you can be able to triage an individual end user issue with just a few clicks doesn't really change as you deploy the endpoint agent on a WebEx device. So here you can actually see that this is a WebEx device running on the Desk Pro in their environment. Here are the tests that they're running, and it's as if it's just another vantage point.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great.
And if I had a collaboration meeting room in my office, people are complaining about Zoom or Teams performance in that environment. Is it a meeting room environment problem? Is it a local network problem? Is it a office problem? And with endpoint agents running on all those different devices, you have ability to kind of really kind of bring out the signal from that noise. So we talked about this notion of solving real problems. And part of that is, how do you separate the signal from the noise, or how do you separate what are perceived issues from real issues? And, last time I talked about Internet Insights, which gives you this real-time view into the health of the internet, and leveraging ThousandEyes' collective intelligence in the algorithms that we've built through the billions of points of daily measurements that are taken to then identify outages that occur across different network providers or application providers. What we've done now and what we're announcing here at Cisco Live is the ability to actually bring the automated event detection capabilities down into your own underlying tests. So I might care about what's happening across the public internet for key providers, but I also have my own tests that I've configured in ThousandEyes. And through the automated event detection, we've eliminated really the need of having to create static alerts and static alert thresholds that says our algorithms can be able to then automatically detect when different meaningful events occur and be able to then surface that up. And so what I'm showing you right now is an example of an event where we automatically, without any sort of instrumentation or configuration, are detecting a meaningful event that's impacting not just one URL, but 22 other URLs. Here you can see that it's also affecting 24 unique tests inside of my ThousandEyes environment. It's impacting over 42 different unique interfaces. And what's key here is that if I actually step in here and says, I want to actually then look specifically at this event through that path visualization.
That's nice. Yeah.
I can be able to then one click into a multi-service view of that particular event in that particular point in time. And as I click on that path visualization, you can see this complex path emerge. But most importantly, as I come in here, I can see where I'm beginning to see forwarding loss at this particular link. And that helps me to go to says, I have an issue, to here's the issue. And now I can be able to push my teams towards here's what we're going to do to go and resolve that. And so I think this just kind of continues this vision that we've kind of set out around network assurance. How do we provide this broad data collection and provide the best data with proactive intelligence and ultimately enable these type of operational workflows so you have the ability to then kind of solve real problems and ultimately assure that digital experience that you rely upon. And there's one more,
like
David. So the last thing that I'm super excited about, we talk about becoming ubiquitous in the visibility we can provide.
Yeah.
And from a hybrid work perspective, we're also really excited about putting our endpoint agents natively inside of the Cisco Secure Client.
Oh, wow.
And so security, we know, is paramount in terms of ensuring that we can be able to secure every single different type of device across every different network.
Yeah.
And I think Cisco has a really powerful strategy that they're bringing to market with the new Cisco Secure Access. Now, as part of that and securing that network, you also need to be able to provide the same level of visibility and visibility into the digital experience through it. And so we're actually partnering and bringing our endpoint agent natively into the Cisco Secure Client as an integrated module and part of the overall Cisco Secure Access offers. And that'll help our customers that are looking to Cisco to be able to not only provide the best security posture, but then bringing the ThousandEyes network assurance natively into that solution.
So you'll be able to see inside the VPN basically if there's a network problem. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the same elements of what I showed you from an endpoint agent, but now you from a team that maybe struggles with having to say yet another agent on my device.
Yeah.
Now you'll have that fully integrated into that secure client architecture.
That's great, Joe. Thanks so much for the demos. Really appreciate you showing this rather than just like talking.
Yeah.
So for everyone who's watching, just let us know what other stuff you want us to cover. And Joe, I'm going to say this on camera. Can I get a license? Because I want to demo this as well or make stuff myself.
I think I know a guy.
You know a guy. Great.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to create content on ThousandEyes. Let me know what you want to see. Joe, thanks so much.
All right. Appreciate it.
Ben.
Thanks again.
Thanks.